ZenlessZoneZero is finally here. But what should you prioritize for day one? What do you want to have completed before you end your first day? Let's get into it. Here's the truth. You may not want to hear it, but there's no guarantee that you'll be able to get who you want in ZenlessZoneZero. Outside of a random 5-star that you're guaranteed at 50 pulls for your first beginning summon, there is no actual way to guarantee who you're going to get. Enter Rerolling. Now, to be clear, if you don't want to reroll and you're okay with something like spending or wailing a little bit, then this is totally fine to just ignore. However, with news of being able to skip added to the story, the whole process has been expedited quite a bit. The reality of this is that if you want to play one specific playstyle, or if you want to pull for one specific character, you are likely going to be advised to reroll, especially if you're free to play. As I mentioned, if this has no interest to you, that's totally fine, but this would be the first thing that free to play or those of you looking to reroll would focus on when it comes to playing day one, especially since you're going to want to have a strong start to begin your ZenlessZoneZero journey. But I do want to touch on briefly who or what you should be looking for if you are deciding to reroll. I mentioned it in my reroll video earlier, but the name of the game for ZenlessZoneZero at launch especially is damage. Building around a DPS so you can clear content is a solid plan since you'll need it for endgame modes like Hollow Zero anyway, and therefore keep these things in mind. Soldier 11 and Grace are both DPS, and if you want to play a fire team specifically, choosing Soldier 11 is a solid choice. If you enjoy Electro, picking Grace is going to be your go-to here. Want to play Ellen or Ice? Use Lycon since he has one of the best pairings and synergies with Ellen in the game. And if you like physical damage, take Nekomata. Ultimately, this is just one way of looking at it though. Feel free to pick your favorite husbando or waifu if that's your goal with the game. Well, let's move on to something very important as well. There are two things that all gacha gamers know about gacha game. 1, never let your energy overcap, and 2, always make sure to complete your dailies. Well, ZenlessZoneZero starts you off with a maximum of 240 energy that is capped as soon as you begin the game. Now, like many gacha gamers, your urge to use this energy as soon as possible so you aren't capped is correct, and that's a good hunch. However, the story doesn't even actually let you use your energy until you're roughly level 11 or 12, which is when you unlock the HIA, aka where you farm out character materials and weapon upgrades. Now that aside, here are a couple options or things that I believe you should be doing when it comes to using this energy in the early days of ZenlessZoneZero and its release. Leveling and enhancing characters while farming for their ascension or required materials is key. We've seen it once, we've seen it 100 times before. Gears, relics, echoes, whatever you want to call it, are important for your characters, but equally as important for these are the skill enhancements and things that are tied specifically to your character. The skill enhancements, the level of the characters, and the weapons contribute equal to, if not more damage than the gear, and playing a character without these things upgraded will definitely make them feel way worse. In some cases, not being of a certain level also restricts you from access to certain skills or from certain breakpoints or feelings or playstyles when it comes to a character. So the first priority on day one is going to be to spend your energy so you don't cap out and to use it on character upgrades or weapon enhancements first. That of course means that you're going to have to do the story so that you can reach the point where they are unlocked, and that again is roughly around the 11, 12, 13 level range. But what about dailies? Well, thankfully, errands or your dailies are actually very easy to complete. Typically, these range from tasks like visiting the coffee shop to just opening the video store for business. However, these are actually some of the gacha industry's fastest dailies that I've ever seen. Side note, some of these tasks may sound a little bit weird, but specifically opening up the video store for business is the equivalent to sending your allies out on a commission to receive rewards. I'm sure you're familiar with this if you've ever seen assignments or commissions in Star Rail and Genshin. Now, once you've completed your dailies, you'll be rewarded with 60 of the premium currency, but just keep in mind that specifically for dailies as well, you actually aren't able to unlock this until level 13 too, so use this information wisely and do with it what you will. Now, if you're doing your rerolls or if you were curious about when you were going to receive the rewards from ZenlessZoneZero, keep in mind that events, unlike all the other activities, are actually unlocked earlier, specifically at level 8. When you enter into the story, there'll be a point where you have to pet a cat, take a photo with it, and are also returning videotapes at the exact same time. And you'll be greeted by this little event icon that you could then accept your rewards for, get your free pulls, and get the character that you love. Unfortunately, this does still take quite a bit of time to get to. For me, it took roughly 40 minutes to an hour to get to that point in the story, even though I was only level 8. But at least you know when or where you can get the events now. And now finally, let's talk about the endgame and the weeklies that you'll get access to as soon as ZenlessZoneZero drops. Now, these, even more so than the other activities that I just mentioned, will definitely take a bunch of time to get to. But if you're watching this at ZenlessZoneZero's launch, you actually have quite a decent amount of time to farm out or to be able to unlock these, since we're kind of in the middle of the week. Rushing to complete all of these activities, especially some of the more difficult ones, is definitely not recommended, to be clear, because you'll definitely need a high level of investment in your characters, your weapons, and that's assuming that you play everything perfectly and you have infinite time to get to this point. However, the one thing that I would recommend completing if you are able to when it comes to the weeklies is claiming the 3 weekly boss materials that you can get if you need to upgrade one of your characters. You've seen this concept, I'm sure, in every single gacha game at this point, but missing out on these 3 weekly attempts is actually way more detrimental than you think. So at the very minimum, if you can, make that your goal for the first week so that you aren't behind when it comes to upgrading your characters later. Even dailies don't feel nearly as bad missing as opposed to missing this weekly reward. So remember to do it. There you have it, guys. That's pretty much everything you need to focus on or prioritize before you go to sleep on your day 1 of ZenlessZoneZero. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Don't stress out if you miss a few things here and there. Again, I would likely say the biggest thing to focus on is maybe getting a good account and then being able to get that account's weekly materials before the week resets. Other than that, guys, if you're going to reroll, if you want to get your favorite waifu husbando, or if you just want to take the game very casually, all these things work. That's totally fine. If you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure to like, comment, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about ZenlessZoneZero, if you think it's a good game, if you think it's a bad game. So at least for me, I'm enjoying this game a lot. I hope you are too. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I'll see you all next time, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy. Whoa, haha, guys, it's time for you to click on the next video. Hopefully it links you to another ZenlessZone video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this sort of video and you guys can like an outtake. But anyways, you should click on the video. Okay, bye, love you, bye-bye.